Ben ritrovati gentili telespettatori di Inside 24 Europa. Oggi trasmissione molto importante perché la protagonista è una protagonista di eccellenza, è Lorena Boix Alonso, spagnola, è capounità della Converging Media e Content della DG Connect della Comisión Europea. Bienvenida. Lorena, es estupendo estar aquí a hablar del tema de medios y comunicación audiovisual. Es un tema muy estrategico, ¿no? In questo momento. E che succederà? Vedrete che parleremo in italiano, poi spagnolo, poi inglese e quindi cambiamo adesso tutta la connessione. For sure, Lorena, in this moment the media intimidation about the free press in the world is really strategic. We have seen what's going on even to our Italian citizen Giulio Regeni in Egypt, and it's crucial what means the free for the media is really important. In your opinion about, for example, the situation in Poland, in Turkey, this morning in Algeria, even the situation. This could be passed for the media a very bad period.
Well, I think that to have a free media is essential. It's really very, very important. I think that sometimes in the European Union we take it for granted. You were mentioning some issues, and indeed, whatever threat to media freedom needs to be taken very seriously. I think that the European Commission is very aware of what are our competences in this field. We know very well that in the field of fundamental rights and media freedom, our competences are limited. Member states have most of the competences, and we do respect that. But it is true that whenever we cannot do more within our competences, what we do is to accompany the media and to facilitate that media freedom happens in Europe. And in this context, the European Commission is funding a lot of projects, sometimes with the help of this institution, of the European Parliament, in order to facilitate media freedom. For example, there are independent projects to help map within Europe whenever there is a threat to journalists. There are projects to support journalists. There are projects also to identify what is the level of risk in member states on media pluralism. All these are independent projects, but the Commission is there supporting. And as you know, in some cases, we enact certain mechanisms, as right now with Poland and the rule of law, where cooperation with the member state has started.
It's curious the position of Julia Cagé, that writing a book about the future of the media, and she said that it's impossible that the advertising complete all the covering expenses the media has, and it could be important that the viewers, the clients, will be paid for this. Are you agree for this sense?
I think that there are plenty of different business models in the media, and that to try to bet what will be the business model that will work, it's a dangerous exercise. I think that many different business models will live together and are already living together, some of them based on advertising, others not based on advertising, and I think it's mainly for the business to decide how they want to run their business.
In this sense, how the media industry changes, because it changes a lot. For example, 22 million viewers for The Guardian is not enough. The Independent closed the activity in paper and goes online. The Netflix experience. I remember your words by Lorena Boix Alonso. Netflix know exactly the audience. I don't know exactly what it means in terms of privacy, but this make a sense for the productions. How changed this word?
I think that the media is going through a lot of changes. And we sometimes have a tendency to see these changes as are a threat. as a threat, and I'm not sure that's really the way to see it. Many of these changes can be great opportunities. One of the biggest changes that we observe is convergence.
Okay.
Convergence of the media. When I started in this job, we talk about convergence of the media by referring to the mix between television and the internet.
Yeah.
Today, convergence is mixing all media. You have social media that are, apart from offering user-generated content, they also are offering professional content, sometimes news, and you see all these media converging, and this offers a lot of opportunities. You mentioned Netflix knowing the audience, but that's not only a possibility for Netflix. The media has, thanks to technology, a strong power now to reach more audiences, to know better its audiences, to have direct feedback of what the audiences like or not like, to be able to offer more personalized offers and to offer new experiences. So I'm on the side of the optimists when it comes to the media convergence and the changes of the media.
The European Commission closed a public agenda about the online platforms, and it's very curious the final results in terms to receive some indication by the consumers and industry.
That's early to say. It's my colleagues are dealing with these platforms consultation, and I think it would be more for them to debrief on this matter. But it is certainly a very important aspect of the digital single market strategy.
Yeah.
And we are cooperating very closely within the Commission, the colleagues dealing with platforms, the colleagues dealing with audiovisual, with copyright. It's a nice number of initiatives that are.
If it's possible to have a short preview from you, this is a very interesting year, 2016, for the review of the Service Media Directive. How could change for the future of the media?
I think it's early days indeed.
Yeah.
The Commission will come with a proposal in the coming months. At this stage, I guess that something that we can safely say, because it's an outcome of the public consultation, is that this directive, to some extent, has worked quite well. The number of channels that are being offered across borders is very, very important and has been continuously increasing.
Okay.
The same for video on demand. So I think that one important thing to say is that we will need to keep what works and fix what doesn't work. And the main objective of the reform will be to be sure that this success story lives still in the new area, where you have new services and new viewing habits of consumers. That will be the main challenge, to maintain it up to date.
And Lorena, it will be a reality to gain a level playing field between OTT and broadcasters, between broadcasters and broadband, between all the players that is involved in this kind of coverages?
This is one of the objectives of the reform, to analyze whether there are issues of level playing field. And from our point of view, we need to see it from all possible angles. Of course, from the point of view of the companies, we need to assess whether you have similar services being treated differently. And that's a very factual exercise, but also from the side of the consumer, whether we see consumers that are faced to similar offers or challenges and receiving a different level of protection. So it's a very important field where we will need to check that the balance is correct, both from the industry and from the users.
The last two questions, the geo-blocking. Is the end of the frontier in terms of to protect every contents in each countries, or I hope to see, for example, if I live in Spain, to see and to watch a content by Italy or a content by Poland or something like that?
Well, I think that this is part of the copyright reform where the Commission is acting in steps, and it's not for me now to say what will happen in this field. But I think that what the Commission is doing is to be very pragmatic, to try to fix every issue separately and in steps, instead of coming with a big reshuffle of the whole industry or of the whole legislative framework. So we'll see what happens on your block.
At the end, we will could see in the next future to have finally a European platform of contents very, very strong, like the big company from US or from Far East, to have a very great kind of model, even for the business economic development of the media, or not?
Honestly, I think that it will be for the industry to decide what is the best model, whether the best model is to have a big giant in Europe, similar to a big giant in the US. From a public institution point of view, I think that what we need to make sure is that, on the one hand, the legislative framework is the appropriate one and is up to date to allow for European business to develop.
Yep.
And this is why you have the digital single market strategy, tackling all possible legislative frameworks on platforms, on copyright, on privacy and audiovisual. But on the other side, there's something very important I think we can do, and we are doing to a certain extent, which is also to support the industry with technology. Particularly in the media industry, the Europeans, we are very good at content. We have a very, very good, we can be very proud of our industry.
For sure.
But we have been less good at technology. And I think it's a field where the media needs to wake up. They are doing it, but maybe a little bit more. And here, Horizon 2020, for example, can offer plenty of projects and financing to support technology in the media. This is, for example, something we are doing a lot in my unit. This coming year, this year we are publishing a call of 40 million euros to finance projects helping the media in convergence and in facilitating all these opportunities I was mentioning before, to better know the audience, to better target, to analyze data. There are plenty of projects that can be very interesting for the media.
Looking to see this call, because I think it's a really interesting event to push this kind of system and to move for the development of the sector. Es bastante curioso que un italiano y una española van siguiendo hablando en inglés, pero esto, por cierto, ha sido seguro una platea más importante y que nos gusta. Lo agradezco muchísimo su presencia aquí.
Muchas gracias.
De verdad, porque conocemos que todos los días van saliendo con mucho trabajo, ¿no? Me imagino. Muchísimas gracias a Lorena Boix Alonso por estar aquí y para compartir esta información muy importante por nuestra audiencia. Le deseo un dia meraviglioso.
Igualmente.
E muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
E grazie ai nostri telespettatori che hanno seguito questa importante, avete visto, poliglotta trasmissione di 724 Europa. Arrivederci, grazie.